I'm Kev.
And I'm Steve.
And we're from the internet.
Want to support the show? Do all your Amazon shopping through we'refromtheinternet.com/Amazon, and it doesn't cost you anything extra, but we get a little kickback on everything you buy.
Why does Time exist?
The magazine? I think it's to talk about current affairs and cultural issues, isn't it? Is that what Time magazine is?
Events, isn't it? Like famous things that have happened and things that
is it famous stuff?
of our time.
It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a highbrow type magazine. Isn't it?
Anything important. Like, is it monthly?
I'm not sure.
So it'd be like the most important thing, or man, or woman, or whatever.
So we're in it, and
we should be one day.
It's supposed to be one of those big achievements us celebrity folks strive for, isn't it? Get on the front cover of that. Is that magazine that you want to be?
Is that what the T&E got is?
I think it is, probably.
Must
be. Front cover of Time magazine. Are we assuming that's what this question's about?
If it's not, then what's the point of the other time?
What, this thing you put in a roast chicken with lemon when you're having lemon and thyme chicken? THYME. Is that what he's asking? He's not really clear enough. Time exists to make chicken taste delicious, because I've never had a better roast chicken than the ones I get where I hollow out his innards, prick a lemon with a knife a few times so it doesn't explode in the cooking, shove a complete lemon up its hole, with a whole bulb of garlic broken out into the cloves, and then a good handful scrunch of thyme. Then you put a bit of olive oil over the skin, bit of salt and pepper, some more scrunched over thyme over the top, put it in the oven for about 20 minutes less than you'd normally cook a chicken for, because it's cooking on the inside by the lemon as well, and it keeps it moist all the way through, and it's delicious. I'd never been able to cook roast chicken properly until I discovered the lemon, garlic and thyme chicken. So that's another reason, that's why that time exists.
You should say the lemon cooks it.
Yeah, because the lemon's getting hot, so it's putting heat on, so it's cooking it from the inside as well. Rather than just having heat coming in from the outside, you've got basically boiling hot lemony water inside a shell, a lemon shell, inside the chicken, so it's cooking from the inside as well.
Excellent.
So, and also, because you've got the lemony moisture coming through, it keeps it moist all the way through, so it doesn't dry out the way chicken sometimes does. So that's probably more an answer to why do lemons exist, to make chicken succulent and to make gin and tonic taste better.
You've gone off on one a bit there, you want the lemons. But the other time, for watches and stuff, it's just so we know when to be at places and stuff, innit?
Yeah, imagine if it didn't. Who invented it? That's always troubled me.
Tommy Iron, I imagine.
But why is it so stupid? Why is it in multiples of 60? It's a chicken and egg thing for me, because I imagine someone sat there and worked out how long a day was and broke it down from there. But how were they measuring that? Were they chucking a rock in the air and thinking, right, a day is 9,086 rock chucks. Now, how can I break the length of space it takes to chuck a rock up in the air? How do I break that down? What should I call that? Seconds. And then how many seconds are in a minute? And how do they get it to work so perfectly? So you have 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in an hour, and then 60 hours in a day. How did that work?
Didn't they just look at... Oh, they couldn't have just looked at sunrise and sunset, because that happens at different times, yeah.
When did time... That's a better question. When did time get invented?
Well, what I was thinking about calendars and whatnot is that the thing that always confuses me there is, why do we have some months that have 31 days, some with 30 and one with 28, when if you pushed all the ones into the 28, we'd all have 30, wouldn't we, I think, if I remember rightly? No,
I don't think so. I don't think it works out precisely. For me, I think that is just evidence of they didn't get it quite right to begin with, so they've adjusted it over the years to make it fit. So I imagine they all did start at 28 or 30 or whatever they were, and they started to have snow in July and thought, we've got this a little bit wrong, let's add a day there. 100 years later, it's gone off the other way. Take a day off that one. And then over thousands of years of add a day here, take a day off here. They got it so it's just right.
It's still not that right, is it? But then also the leap year thing, that's all a bit mental, because of the extra quarter of a day.
Well, that's because there was a few people sat in a utility room 200 years ago saying, look, we've got to add quarter of a day on. Now, we've got a few choices here. We can have a quarter day every year. Don't know how that's going to work. How long do we sleep for on that day? Who knows? We could make each day 25 and a half hours long. How do you feel about that? Let's change everything. Or, and I'm just throwing it, this is a curveball one, we'll just have, every 4 years we'll add an extra day on. That one sounds easiest. Plus, people have to buy a new calendar every year now. Previously, they just bought a calendar and that was it. But now they've got to at least buy a new calendar one out of every 4 years.
So it was obviously the calendar industry that invested in that one, just to ruin us all. Although the days of the week do change every year as well, you know.
No, it's always Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You idiot.
Who was the idiot who decided that we would work 5 days and have 2 days off? And what on earth were they thinking? When are we going to have 3 or 4 days off?
See, if you were alive in the 70s, you'd be mortified at the idea of having more days off because it basically ruined the economy.
How?
Because they were down to the 3-day week, weren't they? Because there wasn't enough work, there wasn't enough hours to go around, so they went down to a 3-day week so that everyone could still have a job, but...
No one got paid enough.
Yeah, you didn't get paid enough because you only got paid for 3 days because there wasn't enough work to go around.
I'm sure we'd be alright with doing a 4-day week with 3 days off at the weekend. Well, the economy would love that,
I think
wouldn't
you
it?
could choose to do that. You'd just take you'd have to get paid less. So
what you're saying is next time I do a pay rise, I should just say, can I have Fridays off or something like that?
Yeah, Chris Evans did it when he was at Radio 1 and they sacked him for it.
Is that why he doesn't do Thank God It's Friday anymore? TJ?
He's coming back.
Because he's agreed to work Fridays again.
Well, I don't really understand how it works because he hosts the One show on a Friday, but
maybe he was already down there
sometime
anyway,
in June,
why not?
I think it's just a one-off TFI Friday special, but you know how these one-off specials work. If millions of people tune in to watch it, that's coming back every week.
Yeah.
So, is he going to do the One show and then TFI Friday? In fact, it'd be TFI Friday, then the One show, because TFI Friday was on at 6 o'clock, if I recall.
I can't remember now. But yeah, so we should have 3-day weekends, damn it.
Have a 3-day weekend. I work with someone who only works Monday to Thursday, and she has a 3-day weekend every week. She just gets paid 4/5 of what everyone else gets paid. You can choose to do that. It's called flexible working. You can go into work tomorrow and say, look, I don't really want to work Wednesdays anymore, so if you can just take 20% off my salary,
I can't
I'm
really
not coming in
that.
on Wednesdays. Well, there you go then. So it's your own greedy fault.
No,
like you say, when you get say if you get a 20% pay rise, say actually, no thank you, I'm just not going to work Wednesdays anymore.
It's Mondays or Fridays I want, not Wednesdays. Wednesday's a fine day. Everyone's in on a Wednesday.
You won't be. You're ruining that plan. But I know your employers listen. He wants Fridays off. Can you just cut his pay and don't let him in the building on a Friday? He'll love that.
Don't do that.
That's his dream come true. He would love you forever. That would be his dream come true. None of this answers the question about time, though.
No, I was
How
just
did they invent time?
Well, I'm guessing they must have done...
was it guesswork? Because it couldn't be
when the sun was in the sky.
But because it all works out so neatly, so it can't be guesswork like the calendar was, because otherwise you wouldn't have 60, 60, 24, 66, and it all fits nicely. So, I don't know, I can only assume that the calendar and the clock was around first and the universe formed itself around it, and time was there before the Big Bang.
It only fits perfectly because we've kind of...
No, it fits perfectly.
60, 60, 60.
There are many
60,
times when I've sat there on a Sunday afternoon trying to come up with a 100-second minute or a 100-minute hour, and it just doesn't fit. There's no way to fit it the only way it fits is 60, 60, 24. Otherwise, you get leftovers somewhere, and you have to have a leap second. And I was trying to pioneer the leap second for a little while, and watchmakers weren't having any of it.
They must have sat around in like a watch emporium.
Who sat around though?
Newton and people like that.
I'm not buying it. I think time was around before time, and I think that happened first, and then people just sort of fitted around it.
I guess we just figured it out, did we?
This is the sort of thing that should be on Wikipedia. I might have a read about this when I go to bed tonight, and we'll come back in a month's time with an update of, we know why. Someone asked the question, who invented time? And we'll do another episode on time, and we'll do some research.
I think we should. That sounds like a great idea.
Want to help us spread the We're From the Internet word? Leaving us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes and Stitcher would give us a nice little boost in the search results and help new listeners find us.